It's not cigarettes. It's not fast food. The real danger could be hiding right in that little bottle of vitamins sitting on your nightstand. Imagine this. You go to bed feeling perfectly fine. But the next morning, you wake up and can't move your arm. Your words come out slurred, and suddenly life is never the same again. This silent threat is happening to millions of Americans over the age of 60. Not from the things we usually fear, but from the very supplements we thought were keeping us safe. For decades, most seniors have believed that taking extra vitamins means stronger bones, a healthier heart, and a sharper memory. It feels like the smart choice, the healthy choice. But here's the shocking truth. The wrong dose, taken at the wrong time, or mixed with the wrong medication, can actually double your risk of stroke or brain bleed. Yes, the same pills you trust to protect your health may be quietly putting you in danger. But don't worry. This isn't about scaring you. It's about protecting you. In today's video, I'll walk you through which vitamins can turn dangerous if misused, how to know the safe amounts, and the natural food swaps that give you the benefits without the risks. And if you stay with me until the very end, I'll share 2 powerful daily habits, backed by research, that can lower your risk of stroke by up to 40%. Secrets that almost no doctor ever takes the time to explain. Before we dive in, I'd love to hear from you. How old are you right now? And do you think this kind of information could help you or someone you love? Drop your answer in the comments. I read every single one, and my team and I do our best to respond. Thank you for joining me here on Senior Health Tips, Healthy Aging. If you're ready to take control of your health and protect your independence for years to come, then let's get started. As we get older, our bodies don't work the same way they did at 30 or 40. The liver isn't as quick to filter out excess, the kidneys don't clear waste as efficiently, and our blood vessels, once flexible like soft garden hoses, start to stiffen and narrow. That means a vitamin dose that seemed harmless when you were younger can suddenly become toxic after 60. Take vitamin D as an example. At age 40, a daily supplement might have kept your bones strong without issue. But I've seen a 72-year-old man take that same healthy dose, only to develop dangerously high calcium levels in his blood. Instead of strengthening him, it made his arteries stiff like concrete, raising his risk of a sudden stroke. This is the hidden danger. Vitamins aren't just extra nutrition. In an aging body, they can pile up, overwhelm fragile organs, and trigger the very diseases you're trying to prevent. So the question becomes, which vitamins are the most risky when taken the wrong way? Some are simply wasted, but others can quietly build up until they explode into life-changing health problems. And that's exactly what we're about to uncover. So stay with me, because next, we'll start counting down the top 5 vitamins that could be putting your health at risk. Kicking off our list at number 5, a vitamin we all associate with healthy vision, but too much can actually damage your brain. That's right. Vitamin A, the eye vitamin, can quietly turn into a real threat when it builds up in the body. Here's what the research shows. According to the CDC and NIH, excessive intake of vitamin A can cause a condition called intracranial hypertension. In simple terms, dangerously high pressure inside your skull. For younger adults, the body may manage better, but after 60, your liver and kidneys just don't process things as efficiently. That means the excess doesn't get flushed out. Instead, it lingers, building up until the pressure inside your head rises like steam in a sealed pot. I once reviewed the case of a 68-year-old gentleman who thought he was doing the right thing by taking vitamin A supplements every day. He believed it would keep his eyes sharp, help him read without glasses, and fight off age-related vision loss. But after months of high-dose pills, he began experiencing splitting headaches, dizziness, and blurred vision. His family assumed it was just old age. Eventually, he ended up in the ER, and the doctors found that his vitamin A levels were dangerously high, creating pressure inside his brain. What he thought was helping his eyesight was actually robbing him of it. Now, does that mean you should avoid vitamin A altogether? Absolutely not. Your body still needs it. But the safest way to get it isn't through high-dose pills. It's through food. Carrots, sweet potatoes, spinach, and other leafy greens provide vitamin A in a natural form that your body regulates on its own. Nature has a built-in safety net. You can't overdose on carrots the way you can with capsules. So before you reach for that bottle of vitamin A, remember this. More is not always better. Sometimes, more is dangerous. And this is just the beginning of our list. The vitamins you'll hear about next can be even more surprising. Moving up our list, number 4 might surprise you. It's the vitamin once praised as a nerve protector. But in high doses, it can turn into your worst enemy. I'm talking about vitamin B6. For years, people believed it was the key to supporting brain health, calming the nerves, and boosting energy. And yes, in the right amounts, it does play an important role. But when seniors take too much, either through high-dose pills or by stacking multiple supplements without realizing they overlap, the results can be devastating. I remember reading about a gentleman in his 70s who began to notice his hands shaking. At first his family feared the worst, maybe Parkinson's disease. The tremors grew worse over months, and he even developed trouble with balance. But after several tests, the doctors discovered it wasn't Parkinson's at all. It was vitamin B6 toxicity. His levels were far beyond what the nerves in his body could handle, and instead of protecting his nervous system, the vitamin was quietly damaging it. Now here's where I want to ask you directly. Have you ever felt tingling or numbness in your hands or feet after taking supplements? If so, don't just brush it off as circulation problems or just getting older. It could be your body waving a red flag. The safe limit for most adults is less than 10 milligrams a day, and honestly, you don't need a pill to reach that. Everyday foods like bananas, turkey, and tuna give you all the B6 you need, in a form your body can actually use without overwhelming it. Nature always seems to know the right balance. So while vitamin B6 can absolutely be your ally, the line between helpful and harmful is razor thin. Respect that line, and you'll protect your nerves instead of damaging them. And speaking of lines being crossed, the next vitamin on our list is one that many seniors still think of as a heart hero. But in reality, it can tip the scales toward one of the most dangerous outcomes of all: bleeding inside the brain. Number 3 is often marketed as the heart's best friend. But for many seniors, it quietly raises the risk of bleeding in the brain. I'm talking about vitamin E. For decades, supplement companies have promoted it as a miracle pill for circulation, for lowering heart risk, even for slowing down aging. And yes, vitamin E is a powerful antioxidant. It helps protect cells from damage. But here's the darker side most people never hear about. In high doses, vitamin E thins your blood. And when it mixes with common heart medications like aspirin or warfarin, the risk of internal bleeding skyrockets. Imagine this. A 72-year-old woman with a history of heart disease wanted to do everything right for her health. She took her prescribed medication faithfully. But she also added a high-dose vitamin E capsule because she heard it was good for the heart. What she didn't realize is that her pill box had become a dangerous cocktail. Within months, she suffered a sudden brain hemorrhage, a massive stroke caused not by clogged arteries, but by blood that had become too thin to clot. That's the kind of tragedy no one talks about in glossy supplement ads. And it's why doctors often warn, don't assume natural means safe. So let me ask you, do you, or someone you love, take vitamin E along with blood thinners or daily aspirin? If so, it's worth a conversation with your doctor. A simple adjustment can make all the difference. Here's the good news. You don't need a pill to enjoy the benefits of vitamin E. Foods like sunflower seeds, almonds, and vegetable oils deliver it in safe, balanced amounts your body can actually use. When it comes from food, it works in harmony with your system instead of overwhelming it. So while vitamin E has been hailed as a heart hero, in reality, too much of it, especially when combined with the wrong medications, can turn into a silent threat. The key is moderation and trusting the natural sources your body was designed for. And speaking of silent threats, the next vitamin on our list is one that nearly every senior hears about for stronger bones. But when misused, it can lead to kidney stones and even heart trouble. Now we're at number 2, a supplement once prescribed to lower cholesterol, but for aging blood vessels it can be a dangerous gamble. I'm talking about niacin, also known as vitamin B3. For years, doctors gave it in high doses to patients who struggled with cholesterol, hoping it would protect their hearts. And in younger, stronger bodies, it sometimes helped. But after 60, the story changes. Here's why. Niacin works by dilating blood vessels. It literally opens them up. That sudden widening can cause the famous niacin flush, where your face and chest turn red and warm. But in older adults, whose arteries are already stiff and fragile, that quick dilation, followed by rebound constriction, can create dangerous stress. Think of it like bending an old garden hose that's already cracking. Too much pressure, and something gives. Take the case of a 65-year-old man who wanted to take control of his cholesterol naturally. He started a so-called flush-free niacin supplement, thinking it was safer. Within weeks, he experienced a transient ischemic attack, a mini-stroke. Doctors traced it back to the niacin, which had stressed his already vulnerable blood vessels to the breaking point. That's the part most supplement bottles won't tell you. What helps at 40 can harm at 65. And it raises a question worth asking. Are we chasing health shortcuts that our bodies can no longer handle? If you've ever felt flushing, pounding headaches, or dizziness after a supplement, it might not be just a side effect. It could be your body waving a red flag. Have you noticed that before? The good news is, you don't need a pill to get enough niacin. Foods like turkey, salmon, and peanuts provide steady, natural amounts that your body can use safely. When it comes in through your diet, niacin nourishes rather than shocks your system. So while niacin was once hailed as a heart saver, in older adults it can easily flip into a vascular threat. Moderation, food-first choices, and a quick chat with your doctor can keep this double-edged sword from cutting the wrong way. And finally, number 1. The vitamin most people trust the most, but it could be the deadliest if misused. I'm talking about vitamin D, often called the sunshine vitamin. We're told it strengthens our bones, boosts immunity, and protects us as we age. And yes, in the right amount, it absolutely does. But here's the hidden danger. When taken in excess, vitamin D turns from friend into foe. Too much vitamin D raises calcium levels in the blood. And while calcium is good for bones, when it builds up in the wrong places, like arteries, it creates a silent trap. Picture tiny crystals of calcium slowly lining your blood vessels, hardening them like old pipes filled with scale. Over time, this calcification can choke off blood flow and trigger a stroke, often without warning, sometimes even during sleep. Let me share one story that doctors often use as a warning. A 74-year-old retired U.S. veteran wanted to stay strong in his golden years. He read online that high-dose vitamin D was the key to vitality, so he began taking 10,000 IU every day. For months, he felt fine, until one night, he never woke up. The autopsy revealed calcified arteries and a stroke that struck in his sleep, all linked to vitamin D toxicity. It's heartbreaking, because he thought he was doing everything right. And that's the scary part. Many seniors think, if a little is good, more must be better. But with vitamin D, more can be deadly. So let me ask you, Have you ever taken a supplement without checking if your body really needed it? The safe path is simple. Get a blood test before starting supplements. If you truly need extra vitamin D, take it in the morning. And keep the dose low, usually under 1,000 IU per day, unless your doctor says otherwise. And don't forget, nature still gives us the best source, a little safe sunlight, plus foods like salmon, egg yolks, and fortified milk. So while vitamin D shines as the sunshine vitamin, in high doses it can cast a very dark shadow. The key is balance, not excess, because after 60 our bodies are far less forgiving. And sometimes, the most trusted remedy can be the most dangerous trap. Let's talk about 7 of the most common mistakes Americans over 60 make when it comes to vitamins, and how to avoid them. Mistake number 1. Taking vitamins based on commercials instead of medical advice. Ads make it sound like everyone needs the same pill, but your body isn't a one-size-fits-all machine. For example, one senior woman started a brain booster supplement she saw on TV, but it ended up clashing with her blood pressure meds. The solution? Always ask your doctor before you add anything new. Mistake number 2. Believing the more, the better. A man in his late 60s doubled his vitamin D dose on his own, thinking it would speed up bone healing. Instead, it caused dangerously high calcium in his blood. More is not always better. It's often riskier. Mistake number 3. Stacking a multivitamin with single supplements. You might not realize your daily multi already contains vitamin B6, then you add another B6 capsule on top. One patient ended up with nerve damage from this overlap. The fix is simple. Read labels carefully and don't duplicate. Mistake number 4. Ignoring drug interactions. Vitamins E and K can interact with blood thinners like warfarin or aspirin, raising the chance of bleeding. Your doctor or pharmacist can help you catch these red flags before they become emergencies. Mistake number 5. Taking vitamins late at night. Some seniors pop their pills right before bed, not realizing high-dose vitamin D can raise calcium overnight, which may stress the heart and vessels. Morning is usually safer for most supplements. Mistake number 6. Skipping blood tests. Without checking your levels, you're flying blind. One man kept taking iron for years, unaware his levels were already too high, leading to liver stress. A simple annual blood test could have prevented it. And mistake number 7. Ignoring your body's warning signs. Tingling in the hands, nausea, constant headaches. These are often early messages that something isn't right. Too many people shrug them off until it's too late. Listening to your body and talking with your doctor can stop small problems from becoming big ones. The truth is, vitamins can help, but only when used wisely. After 60, your body plays by different rules, and respecting those rules can make the difference between harm and healing. Let me share a few real stories that show just how tricky vitamins can be after 60. There's Mary, 67, who started doubling her vitamin D dose because she read it helps with bone strength. A year later, she was in the ER with kidney stones from too much calcium in her blood. Then John, 72, thought vitamin B6 would keep his nerves sharp. Instead, months of high doses left him with constant tingling in his feet. Doctors first suspected neuropathy from diabetes, but it was the supplement all along. Helen, 70, loved taking vitamin E capsules for her heart, but she was also on blood thinners. One day she collapsed from a brain bleed that her doctors traced back to the interaction. Robert, 65, wanted to manage his cholesterol naturally, so he tried flush-free Niacin. Within weeks, he experienced a mini-stroke, a terrifying wake-up call. And finally, there's Grace, 74, who trusted multivitamins to cover all her bases. But no one told her that doubling up with separate vitamin A pills could cause pressure in the brain. Her daily headaches were the price she paid for what she thought was healthy living. Each of these people believed they were protecting their health, yet the very pills they trusted turned against them. So I'll ask you, do you see a piece of your own story in any of these cases? Here's the golden truth most people overlook. You don't always need a handful of pills to keep your brain sharp. Nature already packed the best supplements into real food. A piece of salmon twice a week gives your brain the omega-3s it craves. A bowl of blueberries or strawberries can fuel memory better than any capsule. Leafy greens, whole grains, almonds, and walnuts. These aren't just groceries. They're brain protectors. And let's not forget the daily habits that work like medicine. Staying hydrated, moving your body with light walks or stretches, getting to bed before midnight, and keeping blood pressure in check. These small choices add up faster than bottles of vitamins ever could. Here's the little secret no one tells you. You don't need 5 pills every morning. One smart breakfast, maybe oatmeal topped with berries and a sprinkle of nuts, already delivers a cocktail of natural vitamins for your brain. Simple, delicious, and powerful. Have you ever wondered why every commercial, every magazine, and even the shelves at your local pharmacy are overflowing with supplements promising to fix your joints, sharpen your memory, or make you feel 20 years younger? That's no accident. The supplement industry in the U.S. is worth over $40 billion a year, and much of that money comes from seniors who simply want to stay healthy. Here's the hard truth. Their marketing is designed to play on your fears of aging. Slick ads tell you that without their pills, your body will fall apart. They sell hope in a bottle, but often what you're really buying is expensive urine, because your body can't even absorb most of it. So let me give you this reminder. Don't let billion-dollar companies turn you into their lifelong customer. Instead, take back control of your health. Choose knowledge, choose habits, choose real food, because your health belongs to you, not to their profit margins. Let me share with you what I like to call the 3B formula for keeping your brain sharp after 60. It's simple, it's practical, and it's something you can start today. The first B is balanced meals. Think of your plate as brain fuel. Instead of skipping breakfast or grabbing processed food, aim for colorful, balanced meals. A little protein, plenty of greens, some healthy fats like olive oil or nuts. These are the building blocks your brain thrives on. The second B is brisk walking. You don't need a gym membership or fancy equipment. Just 20 to 30 minutes of walking at a comfortable pace can increase blood flow to the brain, help regulate blood pressure, and even lift your mood. Walking is like pressing the reset button on your nervous system every single day. And finally, the third B, being at peace. That means mindfulness, light meditation, or simply spending time with people you love. Stress is one of the biggest silent killers of memory. But when you calm the mind, your brain gets room to recharge, repair, and focus. So here's my question for you. Which B will you choose to begin with today? Balanced meals, brisk walking, or being at peace? Drop your answer in the comments. And maybe inspire someone else to start their own journey too. So here's the bottom line. When it comes to vitamins, more is not always better. What truly matters is using the right nutrients, in the right dose, at the right time. That's the difference between supporting your health and accidentally putting it at risk. And the good news is, you don't need to overhaul your entire life to make a real change. You can start reducing your risk of stroke today with one simple step. Take a look at that shelf of supplements in your kitchen and begin replacing a few of those bottles with real, colorful foods on your plate. It's easier than you think, and far more powerful. Now I want to hear from you. How will you begin making a change today? Will you adjust your vitamin routine, or maybe add more brain-friendly foods to your meals? Share your thoughts in the comments. My team and I at Senior Health Tips read every message, and we'll do our best to respond. And if you found value here, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with a friend or loved one who might need this reminder. Because turning 60 isn't the end of the story. It's the beginning of a new chapter. A chapter where you can feel clear, strong, independent, and full of energy. And you deserve every bit of it.